Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the AFC and NFC Championship games happening on Sunday. And if you don't know already, the AFC Championship is between the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Buffalo Bills, and the NFC Championship game is the Green Bay Packers versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And we're going to go down and list our X factors for each team. And for me, for the Kansas City Chiefs, let's start with the AFC Championship. Kansas City Chiefs, I think Travis Kelce is going to play a huge role with Mahomes really banged up and not completely all himself. I think the connection that he and Mahomes share on the field, they seem to read each other's minds, and Travis Kelce always knows how to make a play. I think it's arguable that he's the number one tight end. I guess Kittle is another person that people will say is number one, but Kelsey has been really like stepped up. Like he really improved from last year somehow, some way. He was already great last year, but yeah, I think Mahomes will look to Kelsey to make a play, and so I think Kelsey will be a big factor in that game.
For me, my X factor in the Chiefs vs Bills game is gonna be Chris Jones. Chris Jones, he's gonna play a pivotal role and collapse in the pocket for the Chiefs defense. And I feel like if they can collapse the pocket, Josh Allen, as we all know, is not the best quarterback under pressure. Brian Daboll has developed Josh Allen very well this year, but under pressure, I think over 50% of his interceptions have been when he was pressured. So if the Chiefs can pressure him, any kind of pressure, make him unnervous, especially early in the game. If Chris Jones can get a sack maybe in the first quarter, around then, or any Chiefs D lineman or player, if they could get a sack on him, I feel like that's really gonna change Josh Allen's game, how he goes along with it, because he's gonna be nervous. He don't want to get hit. He doesn't want to. Yeah.
Yeah, so my X factor for the Chiefs is gonna be Mahomes. We all saw the hit he took last week. News came out that he was cleared, but I'm not gonna trust that all the way. You know, he couldn't get up under his own weight. And I was telling them if this is a regular season game, he'd be out for at least 2 to 3 weeks. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see. His foot's also bothering him. So the big question for me is Mahomes going to be able to do his thing even though he's injured?
All right, and for the Bills in the AFC Championship, I'm going to say Tre'Davious White. I know that he hasn't been playing up to his standard in the past few weeks. He hasn't gotten an interception in a couple weeks, and so I feel like he'll make like a really like game-saving play. And I feel like this Chiefs Bills game is gonna like, even though it features like really explosive offenses, it could be one of those like grinders, like those defensive grinder games, like with Mahomes not being 100%, and that Chiefs defense really underrated under Steve Spagnuolo, or the Spagnuolo defensive coordinator. So I think Tre'Davious White could play a huge role, maybe that game, like I said, the game-saving interception, and really make a huge momentum shift to the Bills and maybe win the game for them.
For me, my Bills X factor is gonna be Tremaine Edmonds. If Tremaine Edmonds can stop the run game for the Chiefs, I feel like the Chiefs are gonna run more than what they have all season because of Mahomes' health, and they don't wanna get him banged up even more. So if Tremaine Edmonds can stop the run or even blitz, get Mahomes uneven, get him off his feet a couple times, Edmonds can create a big impact. I think for me, Tremaine Edmonds is the best player on the Chiefs or on the Bills defense. So if their best player can step up into what he's known to be, I feel like the Bills, they're gonna stop the Chiefs offense. They're gonna be the first defense to really slow them down and really minimize what the Chiefs can do the whole year.
Yeah, just going back on what Kiki said earlier, Josh Allen, he has been playing very well this season, but we all know what happens if he does. If there is pressure on him, he doesn't play like like the All Star he like he is or he's been playing like. So my question is he going to be able to look past that and concentrate on the game? You know, is he gonna make the smart plays? Is he gonna make smart throws? Is he going to be nervous with that Chiefs defensive line? I think that's the number one thing to look for.
All right, and let's move on to the NFC Championship game, the Packers versus the Bucks, and let's start with the Packers. And so for the Packers, I think Devontae Adams is going to play a huge role. I think a lot of people could say that he's the best wide receiver in the league right now. I think the main thing that a lot of people like what's really good about Devontae Adams is that he's consistent. Every single game he really really shows out, and his connection with Aaron Rodgers is impeccable. So I think Devontae Adams, his consistency, like I said, every game he shows up, and so he's definitely going to get at least one touchdown in this game. I think he can book that. I mean, it's inevitable, right? So I think Devontae Adams will have a big role. I mean, Aaron Rodgers struggled against this Buccaneers defense earlier, but I think that changes this time. I think they're much prepared.
For my Packers X factor is gonna be Kenny Clark. If Kenny Clark can collapse the pocket from interior presence, Tom Brady's done for. We all know how slow he is. We all know he's like 43, I think. If what's his name? Chris. Man, I forgot. Kenny Clark. Yeah, if Kenny Clark can really clog up that hole, the Bucks aren't gonna do nothing in the passing game wise. And Kenny Clark, he's also a pretty good run stopper. He's a good run. He can clog up the hole. He can take double teams, even triple teams at times. So if all Kenny Clark has to do is just eat up blocks. If he can eat up blocks, his teammates are going to do the rest of the work for the passing game and run game. So for me, it's going to be Kenny Clark.
Yeah, and I'm gonna take it back to that first point again. Can Devontae Adams do his thing? We all know how great he's been. People say he's the best receiver in the league. Yeah, he just got to show out. I think if he does show out, does his thing on the offense, I think it's going to be very very difficult for the Bucks to stop him. Like there's nothing that you can do but score back. There's no stopping him, or at least that's not what it seems like. Judging from all the games we've watched this season, and yeah, he's my X factor.
And then for the Bucks side, the Bucks, I'm gonna go with Shaquille Barrett. Shaquille Barrett's gonna have a huge impact on the to stop Aaron Rodgers. If Aaron Rodgers, he does really well. He's insanely good. One of the best quarterbacks in history under pressure. He can make that accurate, precise throw. He can get out of pressure. He's a little bit like Deshaun Watson in a sense. He has that pocket awareness. He has that elusiveness in the pocket. He can dodge almost pretty much any defender. But if Shaquille Barrett can wrap up Aaron Rodgers, or at least slow him down, make him uneasy, or just uneasy at any point in the game, I think that could really be a big X factor for the Packers defense.
For me, I would go with Devin White. He's one of the better linebackers in the league, and he's like one of their top tacklers, Devin White. So I think the Packers will try to like establish the run. I mean, like most teams will, but like he had 10 tackles last game, and I feel like he will continue that dominance for this next game. I mean, the weather conditions might not be as good, and so the Packers might run more often. And so I think Devin White is going to establish a bigger presence that game too. And so I'm choosing Devin White for X Factor for the Bucks.
Yeah, so I forgot it's supposed to be it might snow during the game. I was originally gonna say that it was gonna be a very offensive game, so I'm gonna continue to go on that point. I said Devontae Adams was gonna be the X factor for the Packers. So for the Bucks, I was gonna say that Ken Miller, Godwin, and Evans step up with AB's absence. You know how good of a wide receiver core they have. You know how dominant they've been all season. Can they keep it up? Can they find a way to keep scoring? You know, will their defense stop? Or if their defense does find a way to stop Devontae Adams, can they put points on the board?
All right, and let's go ahead and say your predictions. For me, for the Chiefs and Bills game, I'm gonna go ahead and say that the Bills are winning this game. For the sake that I really hope that if the Bills win, then we'll be able to hire Eric Bieniemy as soon as possible, and so we don't have to wait any longer. But it's not really for that reason. I think the Bills can actually win this game. I feel like with the points stated earlier, I think it's going to be like a defensive game, surprisingly. So I think it's going to be a low scoring game. I'm gonna say 21-17, something around those lines. Bills win.
For me, I'm gonna also go with the Bills. I don't feel like Patrick Mahomes is gonna be the same at all. He's just gonna be a barely above average quarterback. So I don't think he's gonna be able to do nothing crazy in that game. So for me, I'm gonna go with the score of 27 to 17. 27-17 Bills.
For the sake of the video, I'm going to go against y'all and say that the Chiefs pull it out just for the fact that of how much talent they have on the roster. Yes, Patrick Mahomes might not be 100%, but you saw what they were able to do last week, or at least stay in the game with Henny in there. You know, they did have the lead, but they were able to pull it out in the end, and that's all that matters. They have that amazing mind, and I'm blanking right now. Andy Reid, yes, and Eric Bieniemy. Thank you. I think they can pull it out, and it is going to be a pretty low scoring game, maybe like 21-17, 17-14, somewhere around there.
Yeah, and one thing that's going under the radar is that Sean McDermott used to learn under Andy Reid, so it'll be cool to watch like the teacher versus the student kind of way. But yeah, and so let's go on to the NFC Championship. For Packers versus Bucks, I'm gonna have to say, ooh, sorry Tom Brady, but I'm gonna say the Packers are winning this game. Aaron Rodgers' next ring is like he deserves his second ring. It's been due time. And I feel like the Packers offense is like literally unstoppable. I know the Bucks have a really good a group of players, but I think the Packers will turn around this time. Since the last time they played the Bucks, they didn't do so hot, but this time is another story. It's the playoffs, and so in playoffs, Aaron Rodgers is a deadly beast, and pretty sure they'll get the dub. Packers win. I think it's gonna be a really high scoring game for this one. I'm gonna say like maybe like 34-31, something like that.
For me, I'm gonna go with Packers. I feel like it's gonna be a completely different story than what it was. I think week 2 or week 3 or whenever that blowout was when the Bucks beat them. I think it's gonna be the opposite. I think the Packers are gonna win it from blowout. I don't think Tom Brady is gonna do that well. Sure, he's the GOAT, whatever, but you've seen at times this season. Sometimes it's not the same. Sometimes he's just off a little bit. So for my score prediction, I'm gonna go. It's gonna be a high scoring game. It's gonna be Packers 42, and the Bucks surprisingly with the low score of 21, 24, so 41 or 42-21.
Yeah, my mind immediately tells me to say Packers take the win. Just for the simple fact of how great they've been playing this season. I'm happy for Aaron Rodgers. He can finally get that second ring. Devontae Adams been balling out, but I don't want to count out Tom Brady. We've all seen him while he's played in the AFC. We've played him almost every year. And he has incredible talent on that team. So I'm not going to count him out. I'm going to say the Packers win, but I wouldn't be surprised if Tom Brady shocks the world. He's done it year after year, and I wouldn't be surprised. I'm gonna stick with what I said originally, and saying that it's gonna be a pretty high scoring game. I think the winner wins it by a field goal, so I'm gonna say 41 to, what is that, 38? Yeah, something like that. It's gonna be fun.
Alright, and that wraps up our AFC/NFC Championship video. Let us know who you think is going to win personally in the comments. And thank y'all for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Peace.
For this life I cannot change.